welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to today's video. I hope you're all doing really well, and as you can probably tell by the title of this video, I've got a very exciting thing to share with you, and something that I don't think I ever really thought I would be saying, but it is official now that I have decided that I am not going to go back to work after maternity leave yet. So now I've had it confirmed by work, I can share that I am actually going to take an extra year off after my maternity leave was due to end. So I am now completely self-employed and doing YouTube full-time, I guess, until at least September 2025, which is so scary because let me tell you, that extra year is going to be unpaid, and I just can't believe I'm even in a position where I can even attempt this, let alone actually take an extra year off of work. I just feel incredibly grateful that I've even been able to think about doing this. So yeah, that's my news. I'm really excited, don't get me wrong, I'm really scared. Like, so scared. So just for a little bit of background, I started my maternity leave in June 2023 and I was due to go back in September 2025. That's including some annual leave at the end and at the beginning of those periods. So I had some annual leave, then I started my maternity leave in July when Hallie was born, my daughter, and she's coming up to 1 now. In a month's time she's going to be 1, which is crazy. And then I was due to go back in September after I'd used all of my annual leave, and I was going to go back right at the beginning of September. However, because of childcare, because of the fact that I really want to be around for the kids at least for the next year or so, I'd really like to be able to take that extra year off. Firstly, because childcare is freaking expensive. Even with the new childcare schemes coming in, having 2 kids in childcare is a lot. George, my toddler, doesn't start school until September 2025, which does mean having 2 kids in nursery full-time if I were to go back to work, which is a lot. And I also don't work very locally to where I live, so the commute on top of that, with the unreliability of transport and the cost of transport, frankly, on top of the childcare costs, it just looked really dire, if I'm totally honest. But also, I really enjoy making videos like this. I really enjoy doing social media and that kind of stuff. I find it really supportive and like a really great community, and we all bond together and we all help each other out, and we're all going through similar things at the same time in, let's face it, the absolute trenches of motherhood, when we've got 2 young kids, or even 1 young kid, or 3 young kids, who knows. Like, let me know how many kids you've got in the comments, because like, I know that we're all going through it, whether we've got 1 toddler or 1 newborn, like, we're all in the throes of it right now, and I just want to be around as much as possible in these really early years so that I can pick them up from nursery, so that we can make those little memories when they're really innocent and young, and like just soak that all in. Because although it is incredibly hard, like incredibly hard, it goes by so insanely quickly. Like, it feels like yesterday that I was going back to work with George, when he was 10 months old, when I went back to work and he went into childcare pretty much full time. I struggled with it massively, and I really just didn't enjoy that transition, and I don't feel ready to do that yet. And I'm so incredibly lucky and privileged and grateful that I have the option, because of YouTube, because of you watching this video, because of like sponsorships and stuff like that, that I have the option, I have the actual choice as to whether I go back to work or not, which, like, I cannot put into words how grateful I am for that. Honestly, thank you so much for anyone that's ever watched a video, anyone that's ever liked a video or shared it or anything like that. Because of all of those things, I've had the opportunity to take an extra whole year off of work to spend with my kids. Now, don't get me wrong, I've had a year off of work so far, almost, and I have missed some element of doing something like for myself, something that's mine, that's not like just the kids, if that makes sense. I love being, like, that's my main priority, of course it is, but I feel like with everyone, with anything in life, you have to have some sort of balance of things for yourself, things for you and your partner, for example, things for you and your friends, things with you and the kids, things that are centered around the kids mainly, of course, but I definitely have missed that element of having something for myself, because although I have YouTube, most of my content is around the kids and mum life, and it is very much, I'm in one zone of life right now, which I think is okay. Like, I've only just had my 2nd baby, like, she's gonna be turning 1 in 1 month, and you know, that's just the space that I'm in, and that's fine. Like, I actually, you know, enjoy that. parts of it though, I do feel a little bit lost. Which I think this is going to give me an opportunity, like taking another year off of work might give me the opportunity to like branch out a little bit, might give me a little bit more time to focus on like slightly different content as well as the content that I already do, maybe a little bit more budgeting content. Like I really like the idea of doing that, but I honestly at the moment don't feel like I have the time or like capacity in my brain to do it. So with all that said, I think when the funding comes in September for Hallie's childcare, she'll use the funded hours, which will be like from the age of 9 months onwards, you get 33 hours for working parents. And because I am self-employed through YouTube and like I do all of these kind of things and I do earn an income, I'm still classed as like employed, and as is my partner, so we will still be eligible to use those funded hours, but it will mean her going in for 2 mornings a week, for example, for a couple of hours, rather than 4 full days a week, 8 until 6:30, because that's what it would have had to be. That's what George used to have to do when he was younger, and he doesn't have to do that anymore. He does much shorter days now. He comes home and he's not like, well, not always, just like miserable and overtired and you know, touched out and overstimulated. I mean, that sounds very familiar, doesn't it? But he doesn't feel like that every single day. I see a lot more of him, obviously, because he doesn't go to nursery as much. Obviously, I spend so much more time with Hallie because I'm not at work. Like, all of these things I'm so grateful for. And for that, I'm so incredibly grateful. If I'm honest, I never thought in a million years that this would be the outcome of like starting my YouTube channel back in 2020 when I started it properly during lockdown when I was pregnant with my first baby, to then 4 years later actually doing it full time and not having to rely on a salary for the time being. On the one hand, you could look at it like I don't have the security of a salary every single month, which obviously scares the absolute hell out of me, like really genuinely does. Like I have a big mortgage, we have bills to pay, like yeah, it does scare me. It really scares me. But it also really excites me. Like it gives me so much freedom. It gives me like control where I don't think you have like a lot of control as an employee. And it gives me the flexibility that I need to be the mum that I want to be, like right now in this era of my life. Like it's not going to be forever. I will go back to work. I know I will, because I do love my career. I've been within the civil service since I was 18 years old. I'm now 26. Like it's been a good 8 years of my life, of my career, and I will carry that on. And there are so many jobs that you can do that have such like I genuinely think I can make a difference when I go and do those jobs. Like I have a career path in mind that I definitely want to follow one day, but for right now, my priority isn't my career. My priority isn't like my status within the civil service. I want to pay my bills, which is what YouTube's for, but it's not necessarily about making the most amount of money ever. It's about having that flexibility, and that's something that you kind of don't, you know, you can't put a price tag on, I don't think. Parts of me are really apprehensive about this decision, I have to say. Like, I'm really apprehensive about the money side of things, about the financial stability, but I know it's the right decision, and I know I'd regret it if I didn't take this decision, because it's like a leap of faith that I have to do. And like I say, it would not be possible if it wasn't for you. You watching my videos, you watching me potter around my kitchen and making my kids breakfast and talking about the struggles of motherhood. Because it is hard, and trust me, that's another thing that I'm apprehensive about. Being at home for another year, not so much being, like, I love my kids so much, but the mundanity of everyday life, cooking 3 meals a day for people that aren't even going to eat the food, I'm just going to chuck it at everyone, that are going to be screaming at you quite a lot, like, you know, part of me thinks, is this the right decision? But I know it is. Obviously it is. Like, yeah, there are ups and there are downs, but I wouldn't miss it for the world. I'm only going to have a few years of this. And then they're going to grow up and they're going to go to school. And I don't know what that's going to look like in terms of when I go back to work. Like at the moment it's in my extended special unpaid leave, it's called. It runs out in September 2025, which is when George starts school. And what it will look like when I go back is sort of up to me, like, as well as the civil service and whatever job I end up going back to, because that's the other thing. There is no guarantee that I go back to the exact job that I left, but I will have a job to go back to, and it will be in the same place that I worked in. So it will be within the Ministry of Defence in the civil service, which, you know what, is good enough for me. So yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful to have the opportunity, but also the stability to go back to the job that I had, or a similar job to the one that I had, when I'm ready and when it suits us. Like I say, when George starts school and stuff, we might look into maybe me doing shorter days so I can pick him up from school, or me doing term time only hours, because I know that that's an option. Like, I've worked with people in the past where term time only is something that they do, so during half terms or school holidays they don't work. By then hopefully I'll have some sort of plan in place, and yeah, just be around for them. That's all I want to do. Like, if I was working back in London 4 or 5 days a week, it just, like, I just genuinely don't know how we would do it, especially with getting in and out of London, driving to the train station, getting the train, paying for parking, so like all the commute in and out of London, all the tubes and everything, and getting back to nursery on time for pickup. Like, I'm not sure it would have been possible. And look, if I'm totally honest, I find being a mum quite difficult at the best of times. Adding on an extra pressure like work, I think would probably break me at this point. And when I was a working mum before I had Hallie, when I just had George, I found that so hard. Like, again, the stresses of like childcare. If he was ever sick, I'd feel like I'm being pulled from pillar to post. Like, it's not anyone's fault. It hasn't ever been anyone's fault, but it's, you know, being difficult. And I didn't have the option then. I didn't make enough money from YouTube to sustain my side of the bills or anything. Whereas now I can probably do that, which is just mind blowing. Like, full stop, mind blown. I can't believe this day has come, and I cannot believe that I'm actually able to do this and to make this video. And look, yeah, I am really scared. What if YouTube just like decides to just not exist tomorrow? Like, I am nervous about like the reliability of income and stuff like that. But if you don't take these opportunities when they come, then like, what's the point? What's the point in life? I can't believe I've even got the opportunity, so I'm gonna grab it with both hands and fingers crossed, go from there. But yeah, it means I'll be like working properly, like treating this like it's work, like working from home, doing full-time content, hopefully getting back when maybe Hallie goes into nursery for those couple of mornings. From October she'll be going in for a couple of mornings. Maybe I can get back to doing 2 videos a week. I'm gonna try and get back up to that, but it's so hard. Like, I also don't, I'm a little bit like in a funk, I think, with content and stuff at the moment, so maybe I can like spend a bit more time like focusing on like what I want, what is the content that I want to create, what do I want my channel to look like, and actually have the time to like think about that. Because to be honest, at the moment I'm just like picking up a camera willy-nilly and kind of running with it, whereas maybe I can have a little bit of time to like come up with a strategy and a direction, and I don't know, and talk to you guys about what you want to see as well. But yeah, that is my news. We could talk for ages, I'm sure. Maybe we'll do a little Q&A in the next couple of weeks or so, and we can just talk about life, we can talk about updates, all that jazz. But yeah, ultimately I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted to let you know what was going to be happening for us over the next year or so. But anyway, for now, I will see you in the next one. I think I've got to do a budget update because my budget's going to look a bit different now that I'm self-employed, and it's going to be like that. So maybe if you like this video, then I'll know that you want me to do a budget update very soon. But yeah, for now, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!
'Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.